Good morning, everybody, man. Friday, we're close to the weekend. Well, basically, it is the weekend. By the time you finish work this evening, it will be the weekend. So I hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's got fun things to do this weekend. Big up to your damn selves. If you're watching this on a replay, of course, you know the vibes already. Make sure you're smashing the like, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, man. Today's stream, something I was thinking about well, I saw it yesterday and I've been thinking about it for a little while. So it's in regards to style of play. Now I've had a conversation about this before in regards to style of play. You know what I mean? Like I've seen a few people talking about it. Obviously, Arsenal are top of the league, right? So with them being top of the league, it's brought about a few questions, I would say. You know what I mean? It's brought about a few questions in regards to the quality of the league. Now, is it because it's Arsenal at the top? I don't know, because I feel like these same questions were posed last season for Liverpool, and rightly so, in regards to the quality and, all of that kind of good stuff, right? And I think the two conversations, they go hand in hand with each other in regards to whether football has declined in terms of the quality, and obviously subsequently that then means the style of play that, or subsequently, is it the style of play that's helped it to decline? Is it a certain manager that we'll obviously speak about? Is it he who's obviously ruined football? Is it just the way that the Premier League is it because obviously we watched, I'm sure majority of football fans watched the Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid game, one of the best games we've seen in the Champions League this season. You're talking about two heavyweights going at it, world-class players on both teams, and yeah, that was a real spectacle of a game. I saw some people obviously talking about obviously the goals that were conceded, blah blah blah. But my thing was always, when you get two elite teams playing against each other, that's just how it works. Or not how it works, because you can go either way. But more time, you're gonna get that type of game. You're gonna get a game where it doesn't matter. The reality is that is like it doesn't really matter. There's gonna be a high scoring game purely because on both sets of team on both sides, you're gonna have, like dope players. Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Elise, like, do you get what I'm saying? Arda Güler doing his thing. Like, you're gonna have them kind of players, right? So you're gonna see goals. And obviously, because of the nature, I feel, of the Champions League now, I feel like because of how the Champions League is set with no away goals, which I love, that means there's none of this, yeah, second leg, we'll just hold it tight, make sure you don't concede. And it's only really one team who's trying to score because of, no, forget that. You know what I mean? This game is just another game. Do you get what I mean? There is no away goals. And I feel like that also contributes to the type of games, obviously, that we're seeing. But again, like I said, it helps when you've got two teams of, I would probably say, like equal measure, give or take. Like, I feel like if Real Madrid just had a better manager, um, and done things a little bit differently, I feel like they'd be doing a bit better anyway, at the bare minimum, obviously. Do you know what I mean? This season, man. Good morning, man. Covenant, man. Hope you're doing bless this morning. But yeah, so really the conversation today, that's just kind of what I wanted to kind of speak about in regards to, as you can see the thumbnail, you obviously see the title. Does style matter if you're lifting trophies? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, do people even care if your style of play is boring, it's considered to be rubbish, or whatever you want to say? Does that even matter to you if your team is winning trophies? Or is it just a case of, yeah, it's either or whatever? But we'll get into all of that anyway, man. But first of all, what is style of play? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is style of play? Like, what is it even defined as? What is it? Big up Morris, man. Good morning to you, my bro. Yeah, like, what is it? Because I feel that I wouldn't say people are baffed, but I feel like people look at formation and see that as style of play. Now, obviously, the two go hand in hand, of course. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be, they're not like worlds apart, but I do feel that people get it confused sometimes. Yeah, I mean, like, you see a formation, immediately you think, oh, we must be playing like this, right? We must be doing this. But I feel like it's not really that. It's the style of play that can determine whatever formation, i.e., just as a very vague example, you can have like a 4-3-3, a 4-5-1, a 4-2-3-1. They're all the exact same thing. You can have the same emphasis on every single one. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just then your own style of play. What's the emphasis, obviously, on certain players in terms of their job roles, what it is they're supposed to do, and etc. etc. But they're all effectively the same thing. Ultimately, you've only got 11 players on the pitch, so the reality is it's all going to kind of mesh together anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like formation, style of play. Sometimes I feel like people always look at, oh, we're playing 4-4-2 today. Oh, that must be no. I mean, you said 4-4-2. I mean, I might look at that as a 4-4-1-1. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I might just look at it like that, or I might even just look at it as a 4-5-1. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it could just be that. Again, it depends on where you're going to place certain players. We've seen it enough times when we see what's the thing called, Sofa Score or FOTMob. You guys have seen it before games. It's almost like they tell us almost, oh yeah, this player X is playing in this position. So Bozolai is playing right back, but Curtis Jones is there. Then we watch the game. Oh, Jones is at right back, and oh, then we're going, oh, so this plays it. Yeah, watch the game, you'll see it, and then that will give you I would say, a better, would I say, indication, so to speak. I think it does, to be honest. Fans need something to relate to, and ultimately football is entertainment. So we want to enjoy the journey leading up to success, not just success. No, I hear it, man. I hear it, bro. Like I say, we'll get into all of that. We'll definitely get into all of that. Fats G, style of play to me is the team's intentions throughout the game, both offensively and defensively. Big up Rohit. Not winning trophies is justified if you play good football. There's no excuses if you play bad and miss out on trophies. However, like I say, it's an interesting one. All right. So I saw this. This is a definition of style of play. I'm not going to say it's the definition. It's just a definition based upon whatever they feel it is. But I got this from the Learn England thing. So it says a style of play is a team's, which is ironic. A style of play is a team's identity on the pitch. It's the approach you want to use when attacking, defending, and in transition. Put simply, it's how a team plays the beautiful game. I'm going to read that again. A style of play is a team's identity on the pitch. It's the approach you want to use when you're attacking, defending, and in transition. So like I said, when it comes to that formation side of things, sometimes it's not just as simple as we're playing X formation and blah, blah, blah. And obviously it mentions there in regards to style of play about, club identity, or your identity, should I say, the team's identity. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I think that for me is actually something that's actually quite important, because one of the things that I always think about, right? And obviously you can see the question is identity at a club important? I would love to know, obviously, what people in the chat think in regards to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is that something that matters to you? Like, are you that bothered? Obviously, it's mad, because you look at a club like, would I say like Real Madrid as an example, right? Now, they're obviously a bit of an anomaly, because I don't feel like they have a real identity. I mean, you can call the Galactico signings as an identity, but yeah, there's no footballing identity. Let me put it to you that way. There's no actual football identity. It's just we're a club who are the biggest club in the world, and we go out and sign X, Y players, kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. No worries that you've been doing it for time. You've bought some fantastic players in your time. We've now all just kind of just said we accepted it in itself, right? But in regards to, say, like other clubs, so I don't know, like a Barcelona, obviously that's my club, right? So I know with Barcelona, their main emphasis is always on the academy talent, right? That's their thing. It's been their thing since whenever, kind of thing, like in terms of bringing through those youth players. I would say more so since, you could say obviously Frank Rijkaard, all that. And I'm not gonna try and do the, oh yeah, back in the day. Nah, I'm more talking, let's say from like a Frank Rijkaard, for example, from then until now, you could say, yeah, they were slowly, when the Xavis and the Iniestas were starting to make their own debuts and stuff like that, from that kind of era. Now, obviously, they didn't know that these players were going to go on to be who they were, but ultimately, it helped the fact that they were so good. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because they've come through and they're this good. Oh, maybe we can start trusting a few more. And obviously, you do need to start somewhere ultimately, right? And I think that obviously helps. Manchester United, there was that conversation about Manchester United, I think, with Gary Neville, and he spoke about, the Manchester United way, or the identity of Manchester United. I mean, I don't really know what that is. So again, a Man United fan would probably have to tell me, but I guess he attributed it more to we play a 4-4-2, we got fast wingers, or we got wingers, you know, put the ball in the box, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. Obviously, he's more obviously talking about Sir Alex Ferguson and what he was, would I say, known to kind of do, which understandable, right? We all remember York, Cole, Beckham, Giggs, Scholes, Keane in the middle. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that was their kind of thing, right? And then you got your fullbacks, and it kind of transcended, I would say. I would definitely admit that. Like Sir Alex Ferguson then had to transcend that because then you got Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo, Berbatov. Do you get what I'm saying? As much as before he had like Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, York, Cole, then you've got to then transition because the football obviously keeps developing and things like that. And I think so many different clubs have different types of identity. We speak about like Ajax, for example. They've got their own identity in terms of the way that they play football. Benfica are a club that are known for bringing through their youth players. Borussia Dortmund, I think they're a club who are really good at like developing youth. They're almost like a top stepping stone type of team. I like, and it might sound disrespectful, but I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not actively trying to be disrespectful. They're a very good club to go to if you want to develop as a young player and still play in a good enough league where you can still fight for things. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like Dortmund are battling relegation. Like there are a club that can challenge for Champions League. Do you get what I'm trying? I'm not saying challenge for the league, but at least the Champions League, Europe, and stuff like that, they can do that, and you can still go there and develop without there being that kind of added pressure. So I would say most teams do have their own kind of philosophy, would I say? But there are a few teams out there that I do think are kind of in this no man's land almost. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they're kind of a little bit confused as to what it is they're trying to do. Do you get what I'm trying to say as a football club? Do you get what I mean? Like I look at, let me just pick a club. Let's say let's use on can I say Chelsea? Let's use Chelsea, yeah. So Chelsea, again, a Chelsea fan would have to really explain it to me. What is their identity? Because at the moment, I thought it would, well, I think it is you sign young players, right? And you're signing like a load of them. And I think that's what's throwing me. If you sign like a few of them, I might have not been so baffed. But you're signing so many young players, and then you're just kind of kicking them by the wayside. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you signed Garnacho just recently. I feel like I've been hearing that he might potentially leave in the summer. Gittins potentially leave in the summer. They've signed quite a few young players, and it's just been like, yeah. We'll just keep. Obviously, ultimately, you're only going to keep the good ones anyway, and you're obviously they're trying to make a profit on those players. But is that the identity? Is that the philosophy of the football club? Do you know what I mean? In itself, is that what they're known for? I mean, under Abramovich, it was we go out and buy it. That was the identity. We go out, we buy players, and this, that, and the third kind of thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That was the identity really of the club in itself. Forget the style of playing philosophy. That was irrelevant. It was just the identity of that kind of football club. And I think all of these kind of things, right? Whether you're looking at like a Liverpool, an Arsenal, a Manchester City, blah blah blah. Obviously, clubs have a sort of identity, but I think that then plays into that kind of style of play. What is it that you want to do? Are you a Barcelona or an Ajax where it doesn't really matter what manager actually comes in? We're just more focused on this is our philosophy as a football club. So whether we're bringing through talents, guess what? At Ajax, however they're playing in for the men's team, that's what the under 12s are doing. Barcelona, they're the same thing. Wherever Hansi Flick is, well, to a degree, what Hansi Flick is doing, guess what? The under nines. I don't know if everyone watched the Barcelona Real Madrid. I think they're like under 12s. You saw the way that these lot were popping the ball around. Ridiculous. 12 years old, you know. Again, I know they've been trained for a long time, but 12 years old, this is what these guys are actually doing. Did you get what I'm saying? Because again, it's a philosophy. This is how we want our football club to be. This is what we want our football club to do. We've got to start that early. Pep Guardiola has obviously tried to do that, and it, I guess, is kind of doing that at Manchester City, where it's about we got to start from the beginning because there's no point then getting a player who comes up to the first team and because you've got a different manager who maybe hasn't been there a long time and there is no philosophy for the football club or identity at the football club, he's just coming with his own thing. So it's very separate to what everybody else has been training. So now when that style of play, when that player then starts playing for the first team, he just looks so much more different than everybody else, because it's like, well, I've been doing this. I've been playing a 3-5-2 in the academy, a 4-4-2, and various different, formations and stuff like that. But the style of play has been different for each and every single formation, because in the academy, let's say at the time, everybody was just doing their own thing. They were just trying to win games. How can I win games? Well, I'm going to win games playing my way. The club didn't have an identity. So that's when you do, as I say, you get players who come to the top and it's like, oh, okay, they look like, what I mean, they're out of their depth, when the reality is it might not even be that they're out of their depth. It's just, I've been doing one thing, you're asking me to do a next thing. That's not what I've been trained to do. So maybe I might work at a different type of team. And that's usually how I'm seeing, certain things. So you can see, like I said, with a Pep Guardiola, that's something that he's obviously, tried to do in regards to that. But it's just an interesting one. It's just an interesting one as to how people kind of see identity, especially at your own football club. Is that important to you? At Liverpool, what is the identity of the football club? I'm not talking about what the owners want to do in terms of sell to buy. No. What's the identity? What's the philosophy of the style of play? Is Arne Slot the one that they're trying to use? Hey, I don't know. Someone's got to start it somewhere, I guess. Is that what they're, do you know what I mean, trying to see? Or is what they want moving forward? Obviously, you've had Klopp for 8, 9, 10 years or whatever it was. He had one way of playing. Now you're going to get someone who does something completely different to do something else. That's going to take a minute. Took Pep Guardiola a minute to get, you know what I mean? Like I'm seeing the youth, I'm seeing the academy playing a little bit, obviously not going to be the exact same, but it is very similar to what Pep Guardiola wants from his teams. Took a minute though. Took a long, long time. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's interesting. It's interesting. As a neutral, big up Andy, by the way. As a neutral, you'd like to see nice football, but you take a Prem win for your team playing negative football. We'll talk about that in a sec. Identity is important, but adaptability is also important. Look at Barca playing better football, but not the conventional tiki-taka. Yeah, it's not conventional, but it's still quite similar though. So you've got, they're still doing tiki-taka. They're still doing pass, this, that, and the third. It's just, as you say, it's being able to adapt. So Hansi, and if you guys remember a long time ago, like when Hansi Flick was coming in, I had my question marks, because I obviously I know Barcelona, so I know they have a specific style of play. They have a certain way that they want to play football. Hence why a Luis Enrique can go there and win. Obviously Pep Guardiola and Tito Villanova. Again, these kind of people, rest in peace, these kind of people can go there and win because they can play the Barcelona style of football. Others have come in, Ronald Koeman, absolutely atrocious. I think he's such a poor manager. Really good player, by the way, but poor manager. He can't fit. He just couldn't do that Barcelona style of football. Xavi comes in, wins a league. Didn't obviously work out after that, but he can go in there. He is the DNA, essentially. So he can understand this is how we need our teams to play. Then it comes down to quality and things like that. So I was skeptical about Hansi Flick, but he's been able to mesh the two ideas very, very well. And that's something that, you know what I mean, I have to give him some credit for. I really, really do have to give him, you know what I mean, the credit, in regards to being able to kind of do that. United prioritized bringing in youth. There was a stat where at least one academy player played in every game for like 2 decades. Yeah, I think so. I think Kobe Mainoo came out of a game and I think they broke it. But yeah, you're right. How much have they done that in recent times? I'll be interested to know. I'll be very, very interested to know. Club identity is important because it aligns every facet of the club with the fans. And if the club decide to change that, it can create disconnects with the fan base. This is what I'm saying. And I think going, from just talking about Liverpool for a second, I think that's something that's happened because you've had almost because of the type of football that an Arne Slot wants to play. If Liverpool had gotten in someone who was very similar to Klopp, I think they'll take to that manager a little bit quicker. Now, obviously, winning the league in your first season can obviously help. But when it doesn't go well, I feel like as a manager, you always need things to fall back on. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I always feel like the top managers, regardless of what's obviously gone on, whether they've had poor seasons and stuff like that, they've got things you can fall back on. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, absolutely crap last season. Guess what? No one's, obviously some people are calling for it, but no one's really stressing because you're like, yeah, but this is Pep Guardiola we're talking about. Plays really, really good football. We know what he can do, blah, blah, blah. Let's just wait. if it continues, obviously, then of course, blah blah blah. But let's just wait and see. You know what I mean? How that kind of goes. Jurgen Klopp again. You people didn't mind waiting and seeing because it's like no, let's just wait, see how it goes, blah blah blah. Because we know what he can do. We know his type of football. We just need the players back as an example, or we just need to get the rub of the green, blah blah blah. When that then completely changes, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for people to just get used to it more than anything else. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just one of those, one of those kind of things. So, yeah, I do agree with that. Big up, and Tommy's you're good. Go for a couple more of these comments and then we'll jump ahead. On identity, hard to call anything in bread now. Football's global. It's about how culture's integrated. You see Red Bull and Etihad already moving that way. Academies everywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, LFC have always been a club that prioritizes the fight over the glamorous. And now when we have players who aren't necessarily all out battlers, we get frustrated with them because we don't identify with it. Very, very true, Covenant. That's a very, very good point there. Philosophies can be changed as long as the fans are fine with it, because ultimately they are the ones keeping the club relevant. In Chelsea's case, fans are not on board with their change. This is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying, man. And this is why you then have that massive disconnect, I feel anyway, between the two, because you're kind of like, yeah, this don't really. Obviously, Chelsea have recent history, shall we say? Let's say since the year 2000, Chelsea have been known for winning trophies, right? Winning trophies, spending money, being the best or being one of the best. Now, when you're going through a little bit of a bad patch, like I say, you have nothing to fall back on, like nothing. There's no identity at the club. There is nothing really there. So now people start looking at it and it's like, yeah, I don't really agree with this, or I don't agree with that, or no, I don't mind this guy, but I don't want that guy. Like it just becomes a whole wishy-washy. And unfortunately for Chelsea, what would have made more sense is, even if the fact that you're a club that change managers all the time, you needed to keep something. There had to just be something you kept, which was like, at least we still do this. At least we still do that. Did you get what I'm saying? But unfortunately for them, it's just one of them things. It's just one of them things, man. But moving on, obviously, one of the main things, obviously, that people have been, talking about, myself included, is, why is the Premier League obviously, unwatchable, and obviously taking it back to, the style of play and things like that. I think one of the main things I would say behind all of it, I think it's because of, and it's going to sound maybe a bit weird, I think it's actually because of the money in the Premier League. So you've got, I don't know what the prize money is, and I'm actually not going to be bothered to go out there and check it, but I think with the prize money that each team gets, whether you finish first, second, I think Savage mentioned this as well. The difference between, say, like first and maybe like second and third isn't massive. It's not like a massive gap where it's like, yeah. So the reality is, finishing in terms of money, not in terms of the actual prize, in terms of money, finishing first, second, or third, it's not really too much difference, to be honest with you. Obviously, you want the most, but you ain't crying if you finish third in terms of money, not position. I mean, from a business standpoint. Hence why I feel with Liverpool at this moment in time on a slot, if he gets third as an example, bro, they're fucking laughing. Excuse my French, but they are laughing. What? Finishing third? First of all, poor season. They can call it whatever they want to call it, but we finished third. So we get Champions League next season and we make this amount of money. What was that difference between what we made last season in terms of winning the Premier, just solely winning the Premier League? Probably not that much. Is it that bad? No, not really. We can go again. Do you know what I'm saying? We can keep going and going and going and going. It's not really that big of a deal. Long Arsene Wenger, top four. As long as you get top four, we're calm. Yes, you would love to win it. Everybody wants to win, but only one person can. So if you know you're not going to be that one person, well, let's just try and get as high as we possibly can. Can we get close to that? Because getting close to that actually does us pretty decent as well, knowing that we can't win it. So then it just becomes, really about that. And I think because of all of that money, people are, and hence probably why people say the Premier League is so competitive, because of that, everybody's obviously always trying to stay in the league. Now, with trying to stay in the league, there comes this level of jeopardy. You don't want to lose a game because your club can't afford to lose this game, because losing this game potentially could go towards us getting relegated. Getting relegated is not good. Look at Leicester City, won the league how many, what, 10 years ago? Looking like they're getting relegated to League One right now. Ridiculous. This is a club that won the league 10 years ago, a decade ago, literally. And we're saying, yeah, they might get relegated to League One. Mad. Had players like Mahrez, Kante, heck, Drinkwater. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that team. And now we're looking at it, and yeah, they might get relegated to in fact, from what I saw the other day, it looks like they probably will get relegated. Now, all of a sudden, all that money, it does what they did 10 years ago, it doesn't even matter now. That jeopardy of getting rid, like Wolves got to be careful because, yo, yeah, they're going to lose a lot. I feel like they're going to lose a lot of players this summer. They lose a lot of players this summer. What do they then do? Remember, Wolves had that kind of identity and slash philosophy of signing loads of Portuguese players. I don't know how they used to do it, and it was never a problem with homegrown, but they were able to do it anyway. Did you get what I'm saying? They were able to sign all of these players, and that was their philosophy. The Ruben Neveses of this world, kind of thing, like that. That was what they were, able to kind of do. But I feel like because there's so much money in there, the jeopardy of not losing has made, in my opinion, teams a lot more, a word I haven't used since I was in secondary school, a lot more frigid. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot more timid, a lot more just scared of losing. So then you can see it in the way that managers are playing. Hence why, and not to say he's not a fantastic player, but that's why we look at a Cherky and we're like, oh my God, like he's amazing. He's like above and beyond. Not to say he is not a very good player, and that's not to take away from what he's been doing, but we kind of have to look at that because we have nothing else. There is really, when we had Saint Maximin at Newcastle, yeah, we love the way that we love that because everyone is so scared of losing. FFP, Newcastle can't spend money, this, that, and all of these kind of various different things. They all play a part, right? They all play a part, and I think that is that's not the only thing, but I feel it's contributing so much to why the Premier League is like this, that we're going to get games that are just boring to watch because nobody wants to lose. Because the reality is, as long as you don't concede a goal, you have a massive chance of winning a game. As we know, that's how football works. If you don't concede, then you have that chance of winning. I'm sure Gabriel even mentioned something about, as long as we do our job in terms of, like, not verbatim, but if we do our job in terms of defending, and we've done that, then it's obviously just then down to the attackers to do their job. But as long as we do this part of our job, we're calm. So then you get an Arteta who wants to set up in a certain kind of way, because the reality is he's probably, and again, I'm just guessing, he's lost the league. Well, he's not won the league for the last 3 seasons. He's come second every single time. He's thinking maybe we need to cut out some of those losses. Maybe we need to be a bit more pragmatic. Maybe we need to change the way that we kind of do things. And once we do that, yeah, cool. Then we can go a long way. Hence why you look at Arsenal in turn, and we'll talk about them in a second. You look at the way Arsenal play. It's not great football. Again, it ties back into the question of, does that really matter? Of course, it doesn't matter if you're winning. But the reality is, let's call a spade at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Arsenal fans, they're always so pressed. It's like you can't be honest, because being honest is going against whatever it. Bro, you're winning. It looks like you will win the Premier League, and you have a very good chance of winning the Champions League, but you play absolutely poor football. Do you need to care? No, you don't need to care. That's not for you to care, as long as you keep winning. If you don't, though, that's when the problem, that's where we the issues obviously, start to come into it. So yeah, I think for me, like I said, I think that's one of the main reasons as to why the Premier League has obviously become very, very unwatchable. Too much money on the line, so everyone tries to get that marginal gain rather than just to, well, so I didn't even see that comment, but that's exactly, what I mean. What I'm saying is that it's just it's hurting, in my opinion. I feel like it is hurting, the Premier League quite a bit, but it is what it is, man. Next point I wanted to make, and this one is always a funny one, and this will lead on to something else later on down the line. Did Pep Guardiola really ruin football, or is that just a myth? That like this is something that, because he's my favorite manager, and I'm not afraid to say that he's my favorite manager, the best manager I've ever seen. So I always get touchy about this subject, right? But again, I see people talking about one of my good friends. He also says that he says the same thing, right? And I always disagree because I, I feel like when it comes to that conversation in regards to Pep Guardiola, I don't think. Yeah. Pause. I think, did he actively ruin football? No, and I don't, and I don't even think anyone would have any evidence to suggest otherwise. Did he maybe unintentionally ruin it? More so for the Premier League, I would say, but you could use various other teams around Europe. To be fair, did he unintentionally do? Yes. And this is why I say he is the greatest manager since I've been alive, even greater than Sir Alex Ferguson. It's not about the trophies, which obviously help. It's not about any of that. This one person has had that much influence on football. Sir Alex Ferguson never had that impact on football. Ain't no one trying to play like Manchester United. Like that was never a thing. It wouldn't be a thing because Manchester United didn't play a specific type of way that was so different to what we were seeing anyway. It was, they played the same way as everybody else, just had better players doing it. That was really it, to be honest with you. So nothing was reinvented. Nothing was, I say reinvented. Nothing was done to such a degree. And again, that's not to downplay because it's Sir Alex Ferguson. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the boss. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me that's the boss. That since I've been alive anyway. So it's not to discredit him by any stretch of the imagination. He's never had the influence on football that Pep Guardiola has had. And to me, that is a fact. Because of this question here, in terms of that, did he actually ruin football? Imagine everybody from your Roberto De Zerbis to your Iriolas, to whoever Girona's manager is, to whoever Rayo Vallecano's manager is, to whoever Real Betis's manager, to Strasbourg, to, I don't know, Le Havre, whoever. Imagine all of those teams want to play that type of football. The type of football that we saw, and I think now all we're seeing is just remnants of that now. The type of football we saw during the pomp of Barcelona, Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. Do you get what I'm saying? During that era, Pedro's in that. When that period of time was around and Barcelona were the best team in football, and till this day, they're still the best team I've ever seen in football. And the Spanish team, when all of that was going on, I think because they were so good, like, they were just like, they were just too good. They were just too good. Like they reached a level that I didn't think a football team could ever reach. Like a team could ever reach. Like it was beyond anything I think I've ever heard in football history. That one team is just so good due to the obviously the style of play of this one manager that everybody else since that point has just wanted to copy it in some way, shape, or form. Because in their eyes, they looked at it and said, you know what? If I can just play a little bit like that, just a little bit like that, I feel like we can go a long way to winning. Because that is, it's almost like they showed everybody a blueprint. The problem is the blueprint was in a language that you just didn't understand. It was in Pepinese. You know what I'm saying? It was actually just in Pepinese. Like only he only could understand that. Football was ruined by the increase in revenue in the last decade, which coincided with his dominance, but I don't think he ruined it. In fact, Liverpool v City games were really entertaining. We'll get to that. I'm not even start that. Let me even start that because I do think again, I more agree with you, Rohit. I'm actually with you on that one. I think it's more about the money side of things, but this question keeps coming up in regards to Pep Guardiola, he kind of ruined football. And I'm like, how can one man ruin football like that? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, Pepinese, bro. Pepinese. That's his thing. Pepinese. Only he understood what that was. No one else understood it. I know he praises, and I really like Roberto De Zerbi. I know he praises him for that's just Pepinese. Okay, you know what it's exactly like? I'll give you guys this, right? I'll give you guys this. I'll read this quickly. In a way, I suppose Pep's arrival lead coaches have this OCD on risk management. Case in point, nil-nil draws in big games, cancelling out strengths, play not to lose. Yeah, of course, because you were shocked to play against Pep because you knew that maybe he could turn you over to 5-6-0. You get what I'm saying? For those who, okay, I'll use the Nando sauce, right? Just because I saw it literally the other day when I went to the shop. If you go to, we'll use Sainsbury's. If you guys go to Sainsbury's, right, you'll see the Nando sauces in there, like the official Nando sauce, right? The one you get in Nando's, right? If you go to Aldi, you'll see a version of that Nando sauce, but it ain't the official version of that Nando sauce. It will, and I've tried both. It will taste similar, but you always know in your brain this ain't the Nando sauce though. This ain't that sauce. Whether you get medium, garlic, and whatever you get, I don't actually care. But it will be very, very similar. Like it will taste very, very similar, but it's not the same thing though. You're just getting that because it's the cheaper version. Because in Sainsbury's, it's all like £3-4 and that. I'm like, I don't really know if I want to spend £3-4. Whereas in Aldi or Lidl, in those kind of supermarkets, and big up to Aldi and big up to Lidl, but in those kind of supermarkets, yeah, so it's like £1.30, £1.50. It might even be cheaper than that, you know. Sure, I went there the other day. But yeah, either way, do you get what I'm saying? And that's how I feel it's gone now with Pep Guardiola right now in terms of football. He was the official Nando sauce. Now we're getting the little type of sauce. Like it's still all right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we still got good teams like Vincent Company, but with Bayern Munich, he's still playing good football. But that's not the official thing. That's not the official one that I remember tasting anyway. I'll tell you that much. Do you get what I'm saying? That one for some reason just a bit different. I don't know why, but it just feels a little bit different. And I feel like that's just exactly what we've got. So if you're then giving out that kind of product, and bearing in mind, more people, I guess, would want to buy that exact product. It's just like anything else that you buy. The reality is, if I go Sainsbury's, it's listen, my mum does the same thing when it comes to like shopping, as an example, right? She'll look at certain things. There's some things, i.e., I know some people can only eat Heinz ketchup, as an example, whereas I couldn't actually really give two shits about what kind of ketchup. As long as it's ketchup, I'm kind of good to go. But I understand why some people will only eat Heinz ketchup, because the reality is it tastes just different. For me, it's like, yeah, it tastes different. Obviously, you can tell the difference, but I'm calm with this one. And I feel like that's where we're at with football now is, yeah, you can see there's a difference, but I'm calm with this one. I'm calm with Company. I'm calm with an Enrique. I'm calm, with whoever else out there kind of thing in terms of the way that they play football, because it's like, yeah, it's still good enough. It will satisfy what I need at this current moment in time, because of I don't want to have to go out and spend and go and get the expensive one. So when I'm looking at the landscape of it, that's why I'm always like, yeah, I mean, you can't say that Pep Guardiola ruined it. I get in terms of maybe people wanting to copy, but that's not his fault. Like he didn't tell anybody to copy. He didn't tell anybody that this was the way to play football. So I always feel like it's a lazy argument when people mention the Pep. No, that's not his business. That just shows you that he has to be the greatest manager since I've been alive. That's 34 years of my life. He is the greatest manager. No other managers had this level of influence. None. To be fair, if you remember Burnley with Company and even Southampton tried playing out from the back like a Pep and got slapped up. Exactly, Rohit. This is what I'm saying. Company's doing that with Finn. Are you mad? Are you actually mad? Like you're actually trying to play out from the back with Burnley with your players? This ain't the championship, bro. You can't do that here. Well, you can, sorry, but you need to have a minimum a Brighton level player, and you didn't have that in your team. You had below a Brighton level player, and we've seen Brighton get exposed at times with that philosophy, and they are better than you. They have better players than you. So I don't know what you thought going in trying to do it with them players, because that was never going to work, my bro. But again, he tried it. Southampton, was it Russell Martin? I think it was Russell Martin. Apologies if it wasn't. But again, he's trying. I'm like, what are you doing? You guys are like, what are you doing? This isn't going to work, mate. this is not going to work. But again, you're so used to this philosophy. Now, obviously, remember Russell Martin, Vincent Company, these are not their first jobs. These are people who have been coaching, managing other teams. They've taken this. Vincent Company has taken what he's learned under Pep Guardiola or what he's seen under a Pep Guardiola. He's taken that into coaching. Of course he has. You've worked under Pep Guardiola. You're going to take it into whatever. Cesc Fabregas, I've worked under Pep Guardiola. If anyone's watched how Como play, I promise you, it has elements of what a Pep Guardiola team could do. It might be a bit different in terms of the formation and stuff like that, but just watch the way that they play. It's very similar. And he's Spanish. So that's what he knows. That is football to him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That is going to be football, to him. So yeah. No, Morris, I agree. Don't get twisted. There's just a richness with Heinz ketchup. There's this level of richness with it in terms of the way it tastes. But I'm saying, man can still go out and get the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to argue. I like if someone, obviously, like I said, I know the prices of things, so I know that sometimes that Heinz ketchup can be a little piece expensive, but you know what I mean. It's just one of them things. It's the teams that set up the blueprints and nullify Pep that ruined it. Newcastle is one of them with that horrid mid block, marshaled by Joe Linton. Yeah, you can kind of say that, but ultimately, again, you're trying to find ways in which you can essentially stop. Do you get what I'm trying to say? What he was obviously kind of do, or what he was trying to do, should I say? Sorry. So yeah, for me, like I said, I just hate that argument. I really, really hate that argument, man, because it just bugs me because I'm just like, how can one person have such an influence that now he's being blamed for the way that football is? I think I even heard Schweinsteiger. I'm sure it was Schweinsteiger. I can't remember. Was it an overlap or one of them things? I'm sure it was with Gary Neville. I'm sure it was the overlap. And he was speaking about, yeah, obviously when Pep Guardiola came into Bayern Munich and obviously changed the way, you know what I mean? Like now Philip Lahm is doing inverts and we were never seeing these things. It was Pep Guardiola was the one who was doing it. And then everybody then starts to follow and copy because he is the greatest manager. I feel like the proof is in the pudding. He is the greatest manager, so you copy what he's doing. He's doing something that works. Jurgen Klopp. Oh, so Jurgen Klopp just one day thought that let me just invert Trent Alexander-Arnold because yeah, that was just something I've always wanted to do. No, that was never something that you was doing. But guess what? In that season, we saw the Joao Cancelos and stuff. They're man inverting. Guess what? You think, you know what, actually, if Joao Cancelo can do it, he's a left back inverting into right back, obviously in terms of the opposite side and that, yeah, if he can kind of do that, maybe we can get Trent to do that now. And guess what? Now everybody wants to do that. Now everybody's got their right back who always seems to invert into the middle of the park and acts as a midfielder. Look at what Arteta's doing. He wants to get when he had like a Miles Lewis Skelly playing left back. Guess what? Miles Lewis Skelly, we want you to invert. We want you to come into the middle of the field. I'm seeing Calafiori do the same thing. They want them to invert into midfield to allow to then progress play. Then you have that extra body in the midfield. We can go to a back three because we've got like 100 centre backs anyway. So Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, boom, they can form that back three whilst Calafiori is on one of his runs or is joining the attack to help with that transition. So everyone's and obviously Arteta. Guess what? He's worked as a number two under Pep Guardiola. So again, he's going to take from that. And it's just this cycle. So yeah, for me, just in regards to this, I don't like it. Yeah, I'm just not really with it in regards to when people try to obviously blame, you know what I mean, Pep Guardiola. I'm like, nah, can't blame this guy, man. Like, blame yourselves. You know what I'm saying? No one forced you to do this. No one asked you to do this kind of thing. But listen, it is what it is. Beautiful football and no trophies, or boring football with trophies. Come to the crux of what I really wanted to talk about. Now, as I said before earlier on, there's obviously been this massive conversation in regards to Mikel Arteta and the way that obviously, especially as of recently, more so than anything, because I don't think, I'm not going to sit here and say, right, pause, that sounded mad. I'm not going to sit here and say at the beginning of the season, I'm so dumb, that most people were complaining about the way Arsenal were playing. I think we looked at it and said, solid team, solid outfit, solid squad, very good. Arteta is a very good manager. the way that they are playing just looks like a solid unit. I don't think people really had too much to say. And even with the set pieces at the beginning of the season, I don't feel like anybody really cared that much, because it was almost like, you know, it was another weapon to their arsenal. No pun intended. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I don't really feel like it was that much of an issue. I think it's just more as the season's gone on. And again, that pragmatic style has just kind of crept in even more so, more jeopardy behind the games, losing games now, drawing games, dropping points, Manchester City doing Manchester City things. And now all of a sudden, this game on Sunday, if Arsenal lose, boy, it's looking peak. In fact, if Arsenal lose, I'm pretty sure if City win their 2 games in hand, then which is peak, by the way, because the fact that if you can get caught up like that, then yeah, you probably do deserve to get sacked. But anyways, I digress. I want to know from people, right? How much of each does everybody want in regards to that? Like how much of each side in terms of the beautiful football and just the winning? Obviously, I understand. Listen, we all want both. You want both realities, right? You want to be able to say, yeah, okay, cool, I can play good football and stuff like that, and also be able to win things. But the reality is, it's not always going to happen. On a slider, 100 obviously being the full thing. What would you attribute, should I say, that to? Hold on, but are you challenging though, G? If you're playing beautiful football? I mean, it depends. I mean, PSG are doing fine right now. Do you know what I mean? They're playing beautiful football. Barcelona playing good football. Bayern Munich are playing good football. These guys are all winning things. Like literally, they're all winning things. So yeah, I feel like like for me, I'm like, you can do both. But if I had to attribute, I'll probably say like 60-40. 60% I need to see beautiful football, 40% then you can win the trophies. Like I feel like that's just always been me though. Like that's just how I've always seen just football in general. As I love winning, of course, you want to win, you want to be the best. My problem is that the reason why I say 60-40 is because the reality is you're not always going to win, right? And unless you're literally one of the best clubs out there, it's going to be very sparingly that you're going to win anyway. So when I look at it, I'm like, if you're one of those kind of clubs, you need to just take that 60-40, which is, yo, we play really good football as a club. Like that's just our philosophy, our identity, right? And we win every now and again kind of thing. Like I just feel like unless you're gonna be Jose Mourinho in his heyday, where yeah, I'm just winning all the time. The football's not great, but we're just winning all the damn time, then fairs. But this is what the same thing I said about Arne Slot was, boy, like everyone was gassed, obviously rightly so, by the way. You're gassed about winning the league and stuff like that, which is great, no problem. But the football's dead, and it has been dead since he walked through the door. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so if it's been dead for this long, now he's not winning. What do you have to fall back on now? Because he's not winning anymore. Or he's not winning this season, should I say. And it's looked really, really bad. But the football's not changed that much from last season. I'll be honest with you. It really hasn't. It's very 95% similarity in my eyes. There's probably a 5% where it's a little bit different because you've got different players in there, but it's very, very similar. It's very, very similar. So now what? Did you get what I'm saying? Like, are people cool with that? Did you get what I'm saying? Like, is that obviously depending on how you see his football and blah blah blah? No, for me, it's dead football. I'm like, bro, I'd rather if you was gonna have the season that that you've had now, in terms of everything that's transpired so far, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather have just seen good football. Did you get what I'm saying? Like good football with this level. Cool, you've lost 4-1 to PSV, you lose 3-0 to not. I'd rather have just seen good football then. At least I have something to actually watch. Remember, right now, nobody even wants to watch the games. Do you get what I'm saying? Nobody wants to watch games at this moment in time. It's mad. Jogo Bonito all day. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. We grew up in the Ronaldinho's, the adverts, and yeah, it's different. It's different. It's different. Beautiful football with no trophies in general. But as an Arsenal fan, I can't stand the banter. Pragmatic football, if you're starving. If you're not, then aesthetics. I expect the style to change. Yeah. And I feel like that's probably one thing that maybe everyone, Arsenal fans included, are not really seeing is that like, remember, you haven't won for a very long time. You have not won. So where you haven't won for such a long time, the Premier League anyway, where you haven't won that for such a long time, you just need to get the first one. And once you get the first one, if the style continues next season, then I think you can kick up more fuss about it. I'm not saying Arsenal fans care, because like I said, why would you care if you are winning? I do get that. It's just when you're not winning, it will become a bit of a problem. That's my issue. That's where it becomes ish. All right, well, how long do we, you know what I mean? Like, because at least fans can always accept good, well, every football fan in the entire world will accept good football. Obviously, they will accept to a limit of not winning, depending on what type of club you are, but you'll accept that to a limit, right? Once you hit that limit, then it becomes about, we just need to win. I feel like managers can mesh the two. They're just choosing not to. It seems like it's either or. Either we play good football like a Brighton, but we're kind of shit, and we keep losing games and we're not that great, and we have random one-off seasons, or we're a Bournemouth and again we have random one-off seasons and blah blah blah, where we're really good and yada yada yada, or we're Mikel Arteta as an example, or an Arne Slot, where it's like, yeah, but no, we're gonna win, but we're gonna win playing really ugly football. I'm like, can't you just do both? Like, I don't get it. Like, is that a big problem? Big up, Mikes, man. Hope you're doing blessed this morning, or what? I don't know what time it is actually over there, wherever you're at. I agree. I'm probably also 60-40 towards playing good football, but we can't be like Burnley or something. We got to be in and out. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. This is more for the top teams. Obviously, if you're one of them bottom teams, bruv, just play football at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, that good football isn't gonna save you. Eileen was 75-25. Hey, big up to yourself. Big up to yourself, man. I wonder how people would feel nowadays if they saw AC Milan from 93-94 when they scored 36 goals. Oh my! Mike's, I saw that the other day randomly. I don't know why. To be fair, I think it was something to do with Arsenal. I saw that and I bust up. I creased. In today's day and age, bearing in mind, I don't know AC Milan from 93-94, to be fair, right? But I'm going to, from what I know of them, really good team. Of course, Serie A, we know what they're about, blah, 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 right? AC Milan, obviously one of the biggest clubs in world football, historical Champions League winners, you know, yada, 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 players and this, that, and the third, right? Imagine if someone did that today in social, oh my God. There would be protest. People would be saying, who said it the other day? Was it Alan Pardew on Talksport? Yeah, there's got to be an asterisk. There's got to be an asterisk next to Arsenal's. Yo, people will be putting 3 asterisks. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Artem, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Brought me back those days. Let me know, is it good? Is it good? Yeah, for those who haven't seen it, the Ronaldinho documentary is out on Netflix. I don't know when it dropped. I'm sure it dropped literally the other day, but I'm definitely gonna watch it today. Definitely gonna watch that or over the weekend. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Blackpool 10-11 is a great example of amazing style, but leading toward this. Is what I'm saying. When you're those teams, you can't really, you know what I mean? You can't really like talk about style of play. And it's like I said about Vincent Kompany and Burnley. Yeah, the style of play was really good and it was commendable, but then it was also quite naive and a bit stupid because you didn't do anything differently to change what was going on. You stuck to your philosophy. You stuck to your ways. Your ways weren't working, and you still stuck there. Hence why Ruben Amorim got slaughtered at Manchester United. I still like Ruben Amorim. I don't really feel like he's as bad as obviously people made out. My issue is I think Covenant, you mentioned it before, he just weren't adaptable. You did not want to adapt at all. Once you realized what you're trying to do doesn't work, especially for this team at this moment in time, you needed to be able to adapt. I understand you do get to a point where it's like you're trying to push through what you're trying to do, because in your eyes you're like, if I can push through with what I'm trying to do, it will work. We just need to give it a bit more. I get that, but it went on for too long. It just went on for too long, bro. Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So yeah. Dino Doc was great. Oh, you seen it? Okay, cool. He was hate watching Brazil, and was he? Yeah. I'm gonna watch it. I might even do a reaction to it because it's actually something I really wanted to talk about. But yeah, I think, yeah, with the beautiful start, I'm like I said, I'm 64. I know M Tom Izzy, you said you're 75, 25. That's fair. I'm definitely not disagreeing with really with any of that, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it? Like I just think everybody will get to a point when it comes to the beautiful football and stuff like that. If you're not winning, I think you will accept it more if it's more of an identity thing, i.e., Barcelona, crap for so long, and but they still had the same. They were playing the same way of football. They didn't change. There was no whatever kind of thing. It was just we're just going to keep doing what we keep doing. Now, if your club already has an identity, like I look at like Ajax, for example, Ajax haven't do a watch along. Yeah. Covenant saying it. That would definitely, bro. Netflix, come on, man. That will be copyright, 100%. What I might do though, is it? I'm sure it's episodes. Or no, was it just one? Like, is it just one full documentary, like an hour, 2 hour long, or whatever? I'll check. I'll double check. I just saw it pop up on my Netflix, literally yesterday. So I'll check. If it's like episode thing, then I'll react to every episode instead, kind of thing. We can just rap about it. Rap about it then. But yeah, I'm 60-40, so we'd have to, if like when I even look at Liverpool, even at this current moment in time, like I said, as much as you don't win regularly, if you're a team that's not going to win regularly and Liverpool do not win regularly, then I'm like, yeah, when I say win regularly, I mean the big trophies. I don't care about no FA and League Cups. When you don't do that, then I'm like, yo, okay, I kind of need you to do you know what I'm saying? Like there needs to be something that I can at least watch and be like, but we play really good football. And then you almost this is where then your fan brain comes in, because then you almost turn into this like you almost this level of delusion. You start to think, oh, but if we just get this player, if we just get that player, blah blah blah, then yeah, kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like that's my thinking. But again, yeah, it's just one of those kind of things, man. It really is. And yeah, like I say, it is really, what do fans really want? How do they kind of see it? Um, moving forward, and even taking it back to say like a Mikel Arteta as an example. Like I said, Arsenal fans, what do you really want? Obviously, you want the trophy right now, right? If you don't win it though this season, what happens? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, do Arsenal fans want him sacked if he doesn't win it? I guess you would, because technically in this position that you're in now, to not win it would be absolutely disastrous. So I get it from that kind of standpoint. And obviously, it almost feels like you've then sacrificed quite a lot in terms of entertainment in order to get it, and then you don't get it. Yeah, that's going to be problematic for quite a lot of people. So I can understand, from that kind of G3 episodes. Okay, fair. Um, yeah, I can understand it from that kind of perspective in regards to that. So again, fans, we ask for a lot. Well, I say we ask for a lot, but I feel like what we're asking for shouldn't be something that we're almost begging for. I'm eating cereal. I'm asking you for milk. You're moving mad. Oh, why you always want the milk, bro? I'm eating cereal. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like, what do you want? I need milk with the cereal, right? Why are you getting all angry about it? That I'm asking you to get me the milk. I need the milk for the cereal. I'm not asking for something mad. I'm not asking you, yeah, do you mind getting me, I don't know, some whipped cream or something, and I'm just gonna dash that into my cereal and eat that. I'm asking you, could you just get me the milk from the fridge and then I can do whatever I need to do? Jesus Christ. But I feel like when people are asking for good football, I feel like, like I say, it's just always met with this kind of, oh, who cares about the good football? Yeah, bro, with water, like that's bro. I'm not even gonna get into all of that because I know Ends is lurking somewhere and he will somehow clip something. Anyways, like I'm like, bro, I'm just asking for the team to just play better. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah, but we're winning. You shouldn't be complaining. What do you mean I shouldn't be complaining? So I can't complain that like I don't enjoy what I'm watching. Yeah, but we're winning. What does that like? I never understood what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Do you get what I'm saying? Like in terms of just because you're winning, you must just accept. No, what do you mean I must accept? First and foremost, I'm a grown man. I'm going to accept what I want to accept first and foremost. But secondly, just like I always say, like a TV, like a Netflix series, if it's dead, I don't care if it's got my favorite actor in there. I don't care if it's got some of the um some of my favorite actors and the previous, bro, if it's dead, I'm not watching it anymore. I don't want to watch it, because why would I waste my own time watching something? As much as I love this actor, always loved him, always thought, oh, yo, all the films that Will Smith has been in has been amazing. So I'm just going to keep watching this series because he's in it. No, forget. Prime example, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the remake. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's what I grew up on, right? Will Smith, you know what I'm saying? Alfonso Ribeiro, the rest of them, right? Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. I'm not watching this dead remake. I watched it and I said I didn't like it. Now, that's not to say it's not good. If people think it's good, fairs. I thought I watched it. I said, bro, this is dead. Like, I don't really, and I love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But I don't want to watch this just because, oh yeah, boy, it was. But no, I don't care. It's irrelevant. And I feel like football fans, it's pro. I said this yesterday on the stream. You're too entitled. You're too entitled. Like well, some football fans, should I say, they feel too entitled. They feel like like you must do this and you must do that. All ties together, you must do this. Just because we're winning, forget your style of play. The thumbnail, does style even matter? Does it matter? We're winning. No, it matters. It really does matter. Because guess what? You always have style of play. You won't always be winning. That's a fact of just life anyway. But in terms of the football context, you will always have style of play. You will always have identity. You won't always be winning. So I'm gonna go with the thing that's a bit more longevity in that kind of aspect. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I understand if it's been obviously context, if it's been a long time, fairs. But when you're almost at that kind of stage, you will take anything for the time being. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I was about to say something mad, but it's way too early in the morning for that. You will take anything for the time being, but the reality is I don't really want that long term. I really, really don't want that. Slot feels exactly like Rodgers from 50. Yeah, 100%, Max. 100%. Sacked, you're talking about Arteta. He's been given enough time. Moreover, there's no evidence to suggest he changes style with more PTSD piling up next. 100%. And this is why I say it would be interesting to kind of see, in regards to Mikel Arteta, depending on how it's going to work out. But again, I do think the arguments they're valid. I do think they're valid in regards to Mikel Arteta and people voicing the fact that the football is not great. Prime example I saw was what's his name? Thierry Henry on, was it CBS or CBS yesterday, or whenever they played Sporting, yesterday. And he was obviously talking about not yesterday, the day before. He was obviously talking about that game, and obviously Mikel Arteta talking about like fire this and fire that kind of thing, like bun up this, bun up that, whatever. And obviously he's talking about how obviously the team being fired up, etc., etc. But obviously Henry watched that Sporting match and was like, bro, you can't play like this. No way. Now, context is Arsenal not been in greatest of form, been playing badly. They're kind of stumbling over the line, as we can kind of see it. Whereas you've got Manchester City, who seem like they are charging towards that line like a bull. Now, do Arsenal have enough of a lead to be able to just say, all right, we can hold them off? Probably so. And I think this game is going to be massive towards that. If they lose, then it becomes quite an issue. Big up Mr. Tibbs. But if they win it, then yeah, fair enough. You can see obviously that lead, blah, blah, blah. And I think when he mentioned it, I see Arsenal fans, again, as you would do, as I've seen with loads of clubs, they always do it. Because your legend says something, it's like, oh yeah, you know what? I can see what he's saying. But if I said it, oh, you're just hating. Well, how come he can say it? It's the same thing. If I said it the exact same thing in the exact same way, it's just called hating for some weird reason. And I'm just like, that's just stupid. Do you get what I'm saying? Because again, people, I'm sorry, but Arsenal fans should have been slandering Thierry Henry. And I don't want to I don't want them to, because I like Thierry Henry. Do you know what I mean? My favorite Premier League player. But they should have been slandering him though. He said that he didn't like the football. You can't play like this. I need to see. What did he say? He said, I need to see. He's all tapping the table and that. Why? Because the football was horrible. It was poor. Like honestly, it was so bad. Both games were really, really bad. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Wasn't it like only like 5 million viewers or something tuned in to the game? And it's obviously Bayern versus Real Madrid is going to take precedent, to be fair. So I do think it's a little bit unfair in that regards. But ultimately, ain't no one trying to watch that game anyway. No one's trying to watch that game. Sporting versus Arsenal. That just sounds dead. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Nah, but to be fair, G ain't trying to have people diss my mess though. I can yeah, and that's what it is. I get it. You're yeah. N says the same thing. To be fair, like we can diss it, but you can't. Like I get that. I do get that. It sounds different when someone else says. I get it. I get it. But I also sometimes I'm like, but they're telling the truth though. Do you get what I'm trying to say? They are actually telling the truth in regards to in regards to certain things that are actually being said. You don't need to be so touchy about it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's unreal. Anything he says is gospel. But bro, that's like with Liverpool though. Oh yeah, you know, because Gerrard said this and blah blah blah, or because such and such said this, then yeah, blah blah. I'm like, bro, like we've been saying the same thing, but no one wanted to agree or wanted to whatever. There's many Arsenal fans slandering Thierry though. It's wild. Our fan base is strange. Fair enough. I didn't see it. Like when I saw when the clip obviously come out, I didn't see. Maybe I saw one or two, but I didn't see. I didn't see it enough. I didn't see it enough to the point where I think someone else then quote tweeted it, and everyone was slandering him. Oh my God, you're a hater. Focus on your own. It's like, well, hold on a minute. I'm just making an observation. I can make an observation. You know what I'm saying? Football fans need to understand, just because my team is in the mud, I can still make an observation about your own team. It doesn't discredit my observation just because I'm not doing as well, maybe, as you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it is what it is, man. And I've told you for many years the Prem is dead. Look at the football between Atleti and Barca versus Barca and Madrid versus Bayern. The Prem just has so much pressure on winning. It's like I said at the beginning, it's that pressure on winning, which I think is then attributing the style of play and stuff like that. Mikel Arteta spent what, like $1 billion, or maybe not him, but I'm sure. I'm not. Maybe it was him. He spent a mad amount of money. He needs to win. Do you come say? I don't think they're going to keep allowing to just keep spending all this money and you ain't winning, and you don't look like you're going to win. That's where I think the issue will come for Mikel Arteta is if you ain't winning, this is where it gets a little bit dark. Do you get what I'm saying? This is where we might have to look at another manager because you clearly can't get over the line. And if you can't get over the line, we need someone who can, which is understandable. And I feel like that's fair. I really do feel like that's fair. But again, the question is, does style even matter? Does it matter? Do people really care about it? Do people feel like it's enough? Is winning even enough in itself? Let me know in the comment section, man. Let me know if you're watching this on the replay. Does style even matter? Does it matter? Gonna draw a close here. Big up to everybody in the building. If you've got any questions quickly, then I will stay for another couple of minutes, and then yeah, I will head on out of here. Next video I've got coming out, I'll probably I'll drop it tomorrow. I'll drop tomorrow, which is this Liverpool miss Trent. Liverpool miss Trent. That is my next video. We were talking about this on Enz's show yesterday, myself, Cav and Enz. And I was thinking about it as well, especially after the Madrid Bayern game anyway. I was proper thinking about like, do Liverpool just like, yeah, you can call him a rat, but let's just have like a real conversation. Outside of him being the rat, as everyone wants to call him, how much do Liverpool miss Trent Alexander-Arnold? Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me because I'm watching the way Liverpool play now, and I'm like, yeesh. Do I like Simeone's style now? That's an interesting one because everybody slated him for his style of play. He's known worldwide for his in football world, his style of, or his old school style of play, right? It's interesting to see if people rate it now that he's a bit more, would I say, a bit more fluid. He allows his team to express themselves a bit more than he maybe did before. Let's see how successful that makes him. Will people care? That's so interesting. Thank you, Mike, for bringing that up. That's actually very, very interesting. I'm old enough to remember Arsenal winning a league title under George Graham in '91 with many 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that. Those fans didn't care Arsenal won it then, and they wouldn't care now if they win. No, 100%. Again, I think it more just comes down to the fact that you won it is calm. Can you continue doing it? That's where, prime example, Arsenal played really good football, I felt, during the Wenger years when they moved to the Emirates Stadium, but they were only getting top four. That was all they were doing. Top four, not winning anything. FA Cups here and there, but they weren't winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues and stuff like that, right? Play good football, but you're not winning. So there does come that limit of that good football. I agree. 100%. There comes a limit of just because we're playing nice for so long doesn't mean I'm going to keep accepting the failure, behind that. So yeah, it's just one of those kind of things. They got the Copa del Rey final this weekend, plus the UCL semis, playing a counter-attacking style. We need Simeone to. Yeah, I feel like you probably do need him to be successful. You probably do. He might be a very good case study, actually. Let's see, actually. Come the end of the season, obviously, if they win everything, there will be a very good case study. Very, very good case study. I'm going to be intrigued to find out. Yeah, we do miss Trent, but to be honest, I just don't think his heart was in LFC, and I've been thinking that since 23. And it's like, is it to our detriment to still keep, despite, in my eyes, what looks like a decline? Are you saying Trent is on a decline? I don't know. I just think Liverpool miss Trent because of, and I don't want to reduce him to this one thing, but I didn't really rate his defending anyway, to be fair. And I've always never really rated his defending. But going forward, he's obviously one of, if not the best out there. But that passing ability is ridiculous. Bruv, did anybody see the pass that he made to Mbappe when Neuer saved it? That pass was mental. On the run. And it was mad. I saw the way the ball spun as it was mad. It was mad. And the thing is, Trent got that in his locker, and he's been having that in his locker. But yeah, 100% Vikes. Like, he is actually very, but like your defending is just your awareness. Like I saw with the Luis Diaz chance, like there was a chance that he had, and I was like, bro, what the hell are you on? Like, but this is why I always say with Trent, yeah, even though I don't think he can play there, I feel like you got to play in another position that's just away from defending. Do you get what I'm saying? Hence why everyone always says if he was back in the day, like if he played in the let's say the Fergie era, right? He probably would have just been a right midfielder. He would have been like Beckham, that man who can do a shift defensively, but they're not really defenders, kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying? You're more looking at them further forward, kind of thing. But yeah. That's like, bruv, it was insane, bruv. It was insane. But I also feel like he's played better passes than that. And that's mad to say, considering that pass was insane. Check it, I'm saying. It wasn't the defending ability, it was his desire to. Yeah. Like I said, I never really felt like he wanted to defend. Again, when you don't want to do something, you're going to go through the motions behind it because he doesn't want to do that. He wants to get on the ball, spray passes. Listen, Trent isn't like fast or anything, and he's never been that anyway. I'm not saying that was his game. I can see Trent moving into like midfield when he gets older, like 30s and all of that. I can definitely see this brother entering into midfield, 100%. And he'll go to a team if he was to leave Real Madrid. I feel like he'll go to a team where it's just like I feel like Italy will be even just perfect, just a tad bit slower for him. Like La Liga is probably perfect for him, but I feel like playing at right back is just exposing him a little bit. I feel like he'll just go to an Italy and he'll just chill in the middle. And his passing range is so dumb that it'll be mad. It'll be mad. It was definitely. I used to think he could play midfield. No. I know it's going to sound like a contradiction. I don't feel like he can play midfield right now because I do feel like his awareness is just a bit all over the gaff. If he was to play midfield, I feel like it would have to be like a specific role within that midfield where you're not asking him to do too much, and he's going to have to play alongside someone else who can do the too much side of it, kind of thing. I'm more thinking when he gets older, that's when I'm going to look at Trent, and he's going to. I feel we're going to look at Trent and be like, he's going to be like, right, this is a sick midfielder. Everyone's going to want him because his passing ability is not going to go. I don't feel like that's something that goes when you get older. If anything, it accentuates more than anything else. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's the one thing that you can kind of do. Yeah. And guess what? Pirlo had Vidal and he had Paul Pogba next to him. So you've got all action in both players. You've got the silky skills of a Paul Pogba mixed with the dynamism of a Paul Pogba. You've got the all action in Arturo Vidal. I just need to chill. Yes, I'm gonna at times I need to, whatever, but that's not really my job. My job, let me pick up the ball and just pop it. Just pop it all the time. I'll find the pass. Every single time I'll find the pass. That's what I feel like he's gonna end up doing. I feel like I can see that. I can see that. Thing is, he doesn't have any. He doesn't have the other traits. His other traits aren't good enough to be a midfielder in the future. Maybe I don't know, but maybe I can't disagree with that because I feel like you could be right. But then maybe, like I said, maybe you make it a bit more specific. Like I said, you get certain players around him to almost, and it's funny because we was talking about this yesterday about Florian Wirtz and if you have to get players around, but for a player like him, that's how I look at him. Is like, yeah, you're gonna need to have players around him, and he will shine. He can't shine on his own. That's the thing with Trent. He ain't gonna be able to shine. Do you know what I mean? On his own. But listen, peeps, I'm gonna wrap it up there. It's been good talking to everybody this morning. I hope everybody's blessed, man. Like I said, it's Friday. It's chilled. Go and do whatever it is that you guys do on a Friday. If you're at work, then great. If you're not working today or you're just chilling, let me know, man. Like I said, we'll drop that video tomorrow, probably around about 10 a.m. as well. Just talking about Liverpool, Trent, and why I feel that they missed a Trent Alexander-Arnold in the team. Got some more videos as well. Got a lot more videos out there. There's going to be, like I said, just go to the homepage. That's all I ever say. Just go to the homepage of my channel. You'll see all the channels that I've got there. There's something for everybody. I'm sure there's something for everybody anyway. And like I said, I've got a cartoon coming out just before the World Cup. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. So yeah, like I said, enjoy your day. I'll answer this and then I'll bounce. Actually, so what's the difference between Trent and Wirtz in that case? There isn't. There isn't. That's the truth of it. There really isn't. It is what it is. Big up everybody. I'll catch you.